Okay, fine. You got me. I didn't make the random arbitrary cryptographic hash. What do you have for evidence? I would feel comfortable questioning this guy in a court of law and embarrassing this guy because he just doesn't understand what he's talking about. If this was like 3 years earlier in my career, I actually don't know what I would do for stuff like this. Why the are these guys paying an expert witness to copy paste from Kiwi Farm? Defendant's ESI, this has something to do with forensics something, was not collected and preserved in a forensically sound manner, thus it cannot be authenticated and is not reliable. See declaration of Jesus Pena, forensic expert, Exhibit A, here too. All of their attacks against my evidence, they're going to try to point out like a million things they don't like. Her only evidence of anything are images that were leaked to Kiwi Farms from a clearly malicious actor. So I'm like fighting with digital shadows here. By the way, none of which has been shown to have been tampered with, spoliated, anything, nothing like that, right? Okay, we're gonna hop over to this. So we have our wonderful, ingenious forensics expert, Jesus Pena. Jesus Pena. Okay. This filing happened right after my Phoenix show, so I spent the entire 10 hours of the next day writing up a whole ass brief for this bullshit. This case pertains to plaintiff's claims pursuant to the Intimate Image Protection Act, which went into effect on October 1st, 2022, that at least one video of plaintiff and defendant having a sexual encounter was made accessible on the internet by the defendant well after the law went into effect. Dissemination of the video. In the defendant's motion to dismiss at 12, paragraph 1, the defendant alleges that the video is named vid_241 and contend that he transferred it to a Discord user with screen name Rose on April 9th, 2022, which is prior to the effective date of the Cardi statute. As will be discussed below, the evidence relied on by defendant to support this April 9th date is inconsistent and appears to have been tampered with. Thus, this has not yet been conclusively established and would require further discovery. So they rely on this stage a lot, further discovery. I don't know what that could possibly mean. Discord won't have any logs of any of this. You can subpoena them out the ass if you want. I think they already have. The only person who has any information about this is going to be me and maybe the solo guy if he backed anything up from the Discord account, if he has his logs. So I don't know what further discovery they could ever... All they're trying to do is just discredit all of my evidence. But keep in mind, at the end of the day, if you want to attack the productions that I'm making to you, insofar as the evidence that I have, all you're relying on are screenshots posted by another user. You don't have access to any of this. But okay, let's keep going. However, for the purposes of the following continuing accessibility analysis, this is a new thing. This is like a Roberts immunity decision for Trump. Okay, they're trying to make this weird continuing accessibility argument, but we'll go through that. I will assume the date of initial disclosure was April 9th, 2022. On November 29th, 2024, 29 of the defendant's files were posted to the KiwiFarms.com platform by an individual with the Kiwi Farms screen name Solitani Leaks, who created an account on the very same day. One of the 29 files was the video as defined in the amended complaint. The leaked files originated from Discord, as can be seen by two of the file names prepended with spoiler. I'm going to be a little nitpicky here because one, this guy is trying to claim that I've f***ed with stuff in terms of forensic investigation, and then two, just because if we want to get into like super tech shit, okay, we can. So on Discord, if you transfer a media file and you spoil it, Discord will automatically append or prepend this spoiler underscore to the file name. To say that that means that it originated from Discord, I mean, that's a word you could use. I would say it was transferred on Discord with the spoiler tag, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. You could add this to the file name yourself if you wanted to, and it certainly doesn't mean that the file originated from Discord. It was transferred to Discord at one point in time. I don't know how into the weeds you want to get on that, but whatever. The file naming convention is unique to Discord and applied whenever an attachment is added, and the user flags it as a spoiler. The fact that some of the leaked files begin with spoiler indicates that the hacked files originated from a Discord account that either sent or received the files. In the case of the video, it could have been obtained from accessing Rose's or defendant's Discord accounts. So like this, well, I mean, like if you want to be technical, the video, I don't know how hard it is for anybody to understand this or this is intentional. A digital file is just zeros and ones. To say that it originated from any particular place, you can make perfect, bit perfect copies of any digital file. So like, if I wanted to, I could take a video, I could send it to myself on Discord or to any random person on Discord and have it spoiled, and then it could come from there. To say that because it has a spoiler mention on it, it must come from one or two, it's just not necessarily accurate. It seems like this might be a little bit irrelevant, but I mean, this weird argument is going to keep coming up over and over again. Digital files are just zeros and ones that can be bit perfect copied in any way, size, shape, or form at any particular place. It's impossible, really, to tell where a particular file originated from originally, unless you have, like some kind of metadata stamp or something like that. You would need some other piece of evidence to show this, but whatever. In defendant's declaration, defendant claims the leak likely came from a compromise of Rose's Discord account. This has not yet been conclusively established and would require further discovery. Okay, so this is why I'm bringing this up. You cannot ever conclusively establish this without asking Discord themselves to give you a log of the conversations. I don't know what further discovery you think you could ever do to conclusively establish where any digital file came from. This statement doesn't really make any sense, but okay. It's just a stupid, for somebody who's an expert witness, I don't understand. He should be more clear here. Like, what do you think you're going to find in further discovery to conclusively establish the source of a digital file? Doesn't make any sense. After defendant's disclosure of the video remained on Discord's content delivery network until it was finally deleted by defendant after the November 29th, 2024 QBForms post by Solo Tiny Leaks. Between April 9th, 2022 through at least sometime in December 2023, the video had continuous/ongoing posting with unprotected, unrestricted accessibility initiated by the defendant by means of either direct use of a uniform resource locator or via queries to any number of search engines. Okay, so every single digital file that's transferred to somebody is continuously accessible. That's just the nature of a file. Technically, it's the nature of every single thing ever. If I give you a Polaroid, an actual physical picture, then that physical picture is continuously accessible to you always. It's never going to be, I can't take that away from you if I've given it to you. Much the same if I text you a video, if I text you an image, it's always going to be available to you to copy, to share, to send, or whatever. That's just the nature of the world, of physics, of time. There's no way to undo that. I can't delete a file from your system. And also we're going to get into this via queries to any number of search engines. So this queries thing is just, I don't even want to say it's a layman's reading of what's going on. I just don't know if this Jesus guy has no actual experience with e-forensics, or maybe, if you've had a case where this guy was an expert witness, maybe you should go back and look at some of the testimony that he gave. I would feel comfortable questioning this guy in a court of law and embarrassing this guy because he just doesn't understand what he's talking about. He just doesn't, I don't know. I just don't know what this guy's background actually is. Maybe he only translated these books, but this guy is very clearly incompetent when it comes to this realm of how many times have the fucking CDN server kill me. But whatever. Okay. This unprotected, unrestricted accessibility of the video is a result of how Discord implemented storage and access of message attachments on its CDN servers that cache Discord's attachments. Between April 22nd, 2021, and up until sometime in December 2023, when the vulnerability was finally rectified, Discord was known to have a significant security issue wherein all attachments sent in messages were permanently accessible from the CDN servers simply by navigating to a permanent web address that pointed to the attachment. See Exhibit C herein of a Discord community forum post taken from the Wayback Machine titled Privacy for CDN Attachments, where it first describes the issue back in 2021. This major security hole resulted in bad actors using the platform for malware distribution. The news regarding the issue and resolution went public and was widely distributed on many popular media outlets in early November 2023. Below are links to a few of the posted articles. Okay, let me tell you what this guy is saying, and it's just so stupid. So what happens is on Discord, when you try to send a media file, when you try to send media to somebody on Discord, let's say, for instance, I send you an image, okay? You can look on your Discord. When you send a media file to somebody, if you right-click on that media file, you can open it in a browser. What's actually happening is when you attach a media file onto Discord, what you're doing is you're uploading it to Discord servers, and then Discord is instead sending a link that serves as an embedded media file in your conversation. So you can right-click it, open the file, and you actually get a link on like a web page that you can view on your browser. That when you right-click and you open source or whatever, that's what's happening. But what happened is, so every time you see like these links or whatever, like this was potentially originally just sent as an image to somebody on Discord, but there's a link here for the availability. Okay. Now, initially, those links on Discord would be permanent. So when you link somebody, when you send a media file, whatever link is generated, that's like the permanent URL to access that media. At some point in 2023, Discord changed it so that those links automatically refresh every 24 hours. So if I send you a link to an image on Discord and you open it, in 24 hours that link won't work anymore. I would have to go back into the Discord messages and I would have to open the image again and then send you the new link. Now this is important for two reasons, okay? One is because it still means that anything is accessible if you have the link to it. And two, it means that in order to get the new link, all you have to have is access to the original Discord account. And you will always have the new link because you can just right click and open it again. Now, he links here a ton of different sources. I've already read through all these. If you go through and you read each of his links, I don't know if he actually read these or if he's just trying to pull a quick one or whatever. It will tell you in each of his stories, while Discord users won't be affected by the links, which will automatically refresh every 24 hours, those using the links outside of the platform won't be able to do so once they expire 1 day after being created. They will have minimal impact when it comes to using Discord, and end users are unlikely to notice a difference from within the app. Okay. The bleeping computer one, I think, has the same quote. There's no impact for Discord users that share content within the Discord client. Any links within the client will be auto-refreshed if users are using Discord to host files. We're going to find a more suitable service. This article says it as well. The changes won't affect content shared within the Discord client as links in the app will automatically refresh. Okay, so all this to say that like this is a nonsense argument, but okay. He refers to this as a vulnerability, all right? But the problem is he's calling this a vulnerability. It's just a way that they host files. Now, I think you can see an obvious problem here on Discord's end. I think the reason why this was considered not favorable for Discord is because what I could do is I could theoretically just create a conversation with somebody. I could host 100 files, and then I could just embed those files onto other people's like websites or whatever else. And now I have a permanent file hoster via Discord, right? Which is probably not how Discord wants their CDN to be used, because now, you know, they're paying a whole bunch of money for storage and shit, and a bunch of bad shit could originate from their servers that are just hosted indefinitely. It's just not like a good environment for Discord. So that's why they auto refresh the links every 24 hours. I don't know if I would call this necessarily a vulnerability, because there are a ton of ways that you can, if you wanted to abuse this, you could get around this. So for instance, I imagine, I need to not hedge. It would be trivially easy to create a bot that automatically sends links to another account, like that that the bot owns, and then to just automatically scrape the Discord account and refresh any hosted link every 24 hours. That would be trivially easy to do if you really wanted to, right? To address the vulnerability and the issue of permanent accessibility, in December of 2023, Discord implemented authentication enforcement, which basically replaced permanent links to attachments with temporary ones that expire within 24 hours. By doing so, Discord effectively solved the problem of its CDN servers hosting malware. So that's not true. Again, this would be like a statement where if I would read this, I would say, okay, this person is not very technologically informed. They know like enough to have some terms used incorrectly, but like they don't know what they're talking about. Again, you could arbitrarily create bots to scrape this. I don't know why he is insisting on this line of argumentation or where this line of argumentation even came from, but okay. Hold on. Someone in chat said it is a vulnerability in the sense that links don't have the same permissions as the channels they come from. Doesn't matter. That's still all the same. The only thing that changed is that 24 hours is the only time a link will remain accessible, then it can refresh. That's the only thing. But everything else is still exactly the same, just that the links refresh every 24 hours. That's it. Okay. It's funny because even one of the comments in one of the articles that he links, this person even makes the same comment. I wrote a longer message explaining why this isn't going to help, and it was eaten by a server error, so I'm not typing all that out again. Basically, all a malware distributor has to do is figure out a way to automate getting Discord to generate a new download URL, and then send that to wherever their distribution scripts pull the latest URL from. I also made a sarcastic comment about it being possible to use Twitter for that, since it only costs $1. But yeah, it would be arbitrarily easy to create, trivially easy to create a bot to do this. Also, this authentication enforcement just refers to logging into a Discord account to get the new link's URL cache. That's all that is. That's just logging into Discord. That's what authentication enforcement means. That's it, okay? Equally important, the change also resulted in the inability of search engines like Google and Bing to index the attachment files, because when the engine's crawlers returned a day or later, the URLs expired and the engines would not be able to find the files to index. So he's going to make this argument a few times. This is not true. Search engines do not index media files sent privately in Discord DMs. Search engines or crawlers do not have access to those DMs. They cannot index that information unless somewhere on some Discord-owned server, there was some kind of vulnerability or some kind of part of that database that was open-facing without authentication or credentials to the internet somewhere that a crawler could come in and just start scraping all the links. This is not possible and has never happened. At least it's never been disclosed to the public. So unless Jesus himself is sitting on some day zero vulnerability, some day zero exploit that nobody knows about, that gives him permission to scrape every single link inside of Discord's CDN, this is just not true. But okay, we'll get there. Discord generates the new temporary URLs with authentication enforcement in the background, which appends some parameters to the old URL style in part to identify expiration date. I don't know if he even knows what he's writing here, but again, the URL's authentication enforcement, there's no authentication enforcement in accessing any of the URLs. It's just getting the original link, which all you have to do is be logged into a Discord account and then right-click it and open file. That's all you have to do. So if I go into any Discord right now and I right-click and I click open link, that link that's generated, that's what I need the authentication for, is just to be logged into my Discord account. If it's like posted in some public channel or posted anywhere else and I have access to it on a Discord account, I just log into that Discord account, right-click and open it. That's all that means. The new style temporary link creation occurs in the background only if the recipient or sender of the attachment views the message with the attachment. At that point, Discord's application programming interface will render the message on the application's screen and automatically creates the new temporary link. What is important to note is that once authentication enforcement went into effect in December of 2023, any old-style permanent URLs became obsolete, and the attachments were no longer reachable with the old-style permanent URLs, but the attachments physically remained on the CDN core and CDN servers. Of importance is that both before and after implementation, if the attachment was removed by the sender, i.e. here the defendant, it would delete it from the Discord core servers and then the CDN cache servers. Back to the video file. Solo Tiny Leaks appears to have obtained it from Rose's Discord account in November of 2024. So this means that the person had access to the Discord account, which means all of this bullshit is irrelevant because they had already passed the authentication enforcement. Thus, the video attachment remains stored on Discord's CDN servers, on Discord CDN, between April 22nd and November 29th, 2024, and remained accessible to Rose until it was deleted by defendant sometime after November 29th, 2024. Again, this is true of every single digital file ever. If I send you a text message and you open, like if I get somebody's phone, I have access to every text message file ever sent to this person. This argument is ridiculous, but now we're doing this weird argument. However, it was also publicly accessible via the permanent link and reachable by index engines between April 9th, 2022 and early December 2023. This is not true. Although the length of the permanent URL made it virtually impossible for anyone to guess it, nevertheless, dissemination and propagation likely occurred through search engine indexing. Excuse me. Can you please demonstrate that? What do you mean likely occurred? What? Although search engines do not index video or audio content itself, I mean, I think some can, like bits and pieces, but whatever. It does index multimedia files metadata, which can be rich in information. As a result, up until December 2023, search engine queries could have easily stumbled upon the video simply by searching for keywords that matched the indexed metadata. No need to guess the URL. Therefore, now keep in mind what this guy is asserting here. This guy is saying that you could Google search for likely metadata hits on private message files sent on Discord, and that Google or Bing's search engine will have indexed those videos. Now, I don't even know if on Discord if metadata is stripped from files or not. I'm not sure. I know on Twitter, I think they strip a lot of the EXIF data, but this is just not true. This has never, ever, ever, ever been true, ever. This is not, it's just not true. Therefore, while it is not definitively known if Google ever indexed the video, it is a highly likely scenario, as seen from the fact that there are confirmed cases of search engines having indexed content on the Discord CDN servers. See below. Now, his links are funny because you don't have to click through the links. You just have to read beyond the emphasis that he adds for how stupid his argument is here. Zscaler's Threat Labs reported that Discord CDN was exploited for malware distribution with permanent links shared on external platforms. External platforms are where the links were shared. Now he adds an emphasis here. Some malware files were found in Google search results indicating indexing. But then the next sentence is, for example, searches for specific malware file names or URLs surfaced CDN-hosted files as crawlers followed links from public sites. This means that if I right-click a link I've shared in Discord and then I share that link on a public site, well, then of course it's going to be crawlable, indexable, because it's hosted on a public site. And then his next source says the same thing. Trellix noted over 10,000 malware campaigns using Discord CDN links, and then he adds an emphasis here, some of which were indexed by Google. But then if you go on to read, when shared on indexed forums or paste sites like Pastebin. This included PDFs, images, and executables, not just MP4s. So yes, when you share when you share a link on the internet, like on a public website, that link on an indexable page will be indexed. But that's not because Google or Bing have access to the actual, like inside of Discord servers to index every single media link. It's because they were already shared elsewhere. The post-October 1st, 2022 ongoing dissemination and accessibility occurred because the video was not deleted until after November 29th, 2024, and there was an active and permanent URL that pointed to it through December 2023. Moreover, search engine indexing crawlers from Google, Bing, and others were known to index the Discord CDN servers. Okay. Also, keep in mind, and I've brought this up, I don't know if this has ever shown up in a court motion. It might have shown up in one or two. I mean, it would come up at trial, of course. If you're really going to make arguments like this, you have short-circuited plaintiff's entire case. Because in that case, I would go, oh, so if you share a Google Drive link or if you share a media file on Discord, that means that it's publicly accessible? And, they go like, yes. And it's like, oh, well, how did defendant share with you, plaintiff, the files? Oh, through a Drive link. Oh, so then did you consent from the very beginning for all of it being publicly accessible because you knew it right at the start, right? Oh, shit, I guess I did. Fuck me. Now, you could say, well, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, well, if you didn't know that, well, then why would defendant know that? Why would anybody know that, right? This is just like the most self-defeating, stupid argument. Destiny, I'm not good with text stuff. Can you clarify if this guy is saying you can get access to private Discord content by searching them on your browser? Yes. So what this guy is saying is that, like, let's say, for instance, I know that Right to Bear Arms lol, he sent a video of him eating a cat to Jader Vernanda. Okay. What he's saying is that I should be able to go onto Google and I should be able to search Right to Bear Arms lol. Where do I think he lives? Oh, I know he lives in Russia. And maybe what would he have in the metadata of his file? Maybe eating cat. And I should be able to put search on this and Google or Bing will somehow have indexed that private video file and then I get a direct link to it by searching to it on Google. That's what he's making the claim of. It's nonsense. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid argument. Like, keep in mind how huge this vulnerability would be. This would be like an almost, do you remember the iCloud vulnerability? This would be like on that level of exploit if a vulnerability like this was discovered. That somehow Google or Bing were indexing every single media attachment sent in DMs. Like, it's just such a ridiculously stupid argument. But whatever. In conclusion, by defendant's own admission, he used Discord to send the video to Rose as an attachment. There were no protective measures in place to safeguard his and the plaintiff's privacy. Well, there was because you had to be logged into the account to view either one. That would be the quote-unquote protection. Such as, 1, the platform used to send the video would encrypt while transmitting. I don't know what the encrypt means here. I mean, if it's an HTTPS link, technically it's all encrypted. Are we talking like man-in-the-middle attacks? Or what are we talking about here? This doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're talking about encryption in terms of like, do you need a certain key to unlock the file? I mean, that would be a redundancy because you already need to be logged into Discord. You need to be logged into a Discord account in order to view the file. So for all intents and purposes, it is encrypted. I don't know what this means. This is stupid. Okay, number 1. Number 2, the platform would store attachments in an encrypted state and require authentication. It does store it in a, I would argue, some kind of encrypted state, because the URL is like a 64 character string of random shit, which is essentially is a form of encryption. I guess you could argue in terms of how you would access a file, unique identifiers. And it does require authentication. You have to log into a Discord account to get the link, okay? And or 3, the recipient would give assurances that it would be safeguarded. What does this mean? What? Even if the recipient had given assurances that it would be safeguarded, which I think you could argue was implicit between the both of us, the account was accessed by somebody else, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. All of this is stupid. These are all just like stupid. This is like a nonsense. I don't know. The Discord vulnerability related to attachments being publicly available should have been considered by the defendant, as it was a known issue in the Discord community for an entire year before the defendant sent the video. What he's calling this a vulnerability, the way that they cache links and the way that they refresh URLs is not relevant to any single part of this ever, and he is misstating what this was insofar as a vulnerability goes to. This is just stupid. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. It's just all of this is stupid. But the video remained active and accessible to the public until December 2023, when Discord converted to temporary links. But by that time, Cardi had been in effect for 13 months. Moreover, the video remained accessible to Rose and anyone who had access to Rose's Discord account until after November 29, 2024, when defendant finally deleted it. Yes, again, welcome to all digital files, always. Do you think there's a small chance the lawyer is actually tech retarded? No! I think that I think it's very easy. And as we get more through this, you'll see. It's just, all of this is literally lawfare. It's literally just designed to waste my time and my resources and to try to keep my reputation depressed for as long as they can keep the case going. But, well, I mean, I feel like that's super obvious at this point. But the defendant's evidence mismanagement and consequent unreliability. A review of the pleadings and materials would indicate that the defendant's ESI was not collected and preserved in a forensically sound manner. Whew, I'm about to trigger the fuck out of me with all this. All of this is so stupid, okay? This failure constitutes a critical deficiency, as the foundational principle of digital forensics dictates that cryptographic hash values must be generated at the time of collection to ensure the integrity and authenticity of the data. Without these unique digital identifiers, there is no reliable method to determine if the data set has been altered or compromised at any point after its initial collection. Okay. I don't know if this guy just watched his first Hackers movie or what, but what a cryptographic hash is that you are essentially sending, imagine you take a bunch of data, like on a paint picture or on a PDF or whatever, and then you run through all of this data, and I'm sure there are probably more sophisticated ways to do this, but like imagine you take every single piece of data and you find a way to just like mathematically convert it into some string of 32, 64, 128, 256 characters or whatever, and you can't, like, a hash doesn't allow you to get back to the original data, but what it does is it's like a mathematical symbol of a unique value generated by all the underlying data. What that means is that if I alter the data in some way and then I hash it using the exact same algorithm as was hashed before, if I change any of the underlying data, then the hash that's generated is going to be different than the prior one. So a hash doesn't allow me to go back to the original data, like some form of like encryption or conversion or whatever. But what it does allow me to do is to check if the original data has been modified in some way, okay? Now, take a step back here, okay? Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not a unique hash. It could, like, theoretically, two different hashes could. I feel like there was a really, really, really unique database leak a long time ago that used a hashing algorithm that was stupid because you could theoretically have two different passwords generate the same hash because it was a really small, it was a really short, I don't remember, fuck, this was a long time ago. This is irrelevant though, this is like niche, stupid shit. The big issue, okay, the stupid part here with talking about anything having to do with a cryptographic hash value is a concept, okay, called chain of custody, all right? You are asking me for a cryptographic hash. Why? All I have to do if I'm going to doctor evidence is doctor the evidence and then hash it. Why the fuck would me giving you a cryptographic hash verify the authenticity of anything I'm showing you? The chain of custody starts with me. This is such a stupid fucking argument. It makes no sense. The equivalent here to a cryptographic hash is taking a photograph of like a crime scene before investigators start messing with shit, okay? Why you take the photographs first so that you can see how everything originally was. This is an important part of a crime scene. Now imagine how stupid it would be to have photographs of a crime scene if the first photographs you have are photographs made by the accused. Do you know how stupid this would be? Like, oh no, we have photos of the original crime scene. Oh, who gave you the photographs? The guy being accused of murder. Oh, well, what if he like just moved the bodies first? Well, that's a good point. This whole cryptographic hash argument is so stupid because if I was going to doctor anything, I could just doctor a thing and then give them a hash and it wouldn't prove anything. It's so stupid. But, okay. This principle is the cornerstone of digital forensics practice. Okay. For comparison reference, the plaintiff's acquisition log of her mobile phone, which includes the requisite cryptographic hash values, is attached hereto as Exhibit B. The thing that triggers me so much about this stupid fucking argument, and then stay here. Okay. He's saying that because the defendant provided a cryptographic hash of her cell phone, that somehow this means that the information that she's given me is right and true. But there's several problems with this, okay? Number one, if she's deleted anything on her phone before making that hash, I have no record of that. I don't know if this hash is telling me what was on the phone prior to, her taking that. Obviously, it only tells me the time she made that. That's number one. Number two, all of the information that we are fighting about right now, has to do with messages on Discord. Discord messages are stored. He just spent the first whole 10 pages of this stupid expert witness summary on Discord servers, not on her phone. This doesn't tell me anything about what's on her Discord account. This is basically just a snapshot it's like a disk image of her phone's drive, and it's a hash value of what's on the phone's drive. This doesn't tell me anything about what we're contesting over what's on any social media accounts, because that information is stored on her phone. Like, it also won't tell me, because this cryptographic hash is also worthless. Actually, it's even worthless for another reason that I didn't even consider before. Because this hash, I think, was made, I feel like I remember seeing this hash was made in March of this year. Yeah, this hash is made on March of this year. She could be sending and deleting messages after this hash. This only would allow me to analyze the contents of her phone's drive as of March 28th, 2025. Anything afterwards, I don't have any cryptographic hashes showing like text messages or anything, right? And I don't know if she's deleted or anything before taking this screenshot here. So like, just all of this is stupid, right? This is just such a pointless, stupid argument. The idea that you would talk about a cryptographic hash when the chain of custody starts with the person being accused of the malfeasance. That doesn't make any sense why you would care about my hash. But somebody said, Destiny, if you open Discord on the phone, the data is on the phone. Yes or no? One, Discord will store some data locally on your phone, but not all of it. And two, it's only going to store data of recently opened messages, and I don't even know if that data is wiped when the phone is restarted or not. You can test this yourself. Go onto your phone and open Discord, and then open a message that you have open, like already, and the immediate text might be there, okay? It might be there, it might not. And then just scroll up a little bit, and you're going to see a little loading symbol. That loading symbol, if you try to, let's say you open Discord, like you can do this. You can open Discord, you can open a text message, or not a text message, a Discord message. You can turn on airplane mode on your phone. Now try to scroll up. You can't access it because Discord doesn't have that data. All of your conversations aren't saved locally to your phone. They're pulling them from Discord CDN. This is so stupid. Oh my God. At Destiny, chain of custody hashes are usually collected before any examination of the disk. Yeah, sure, but they're also usually collected by like investigators. Like by people who are seizing your shit. Like if the FBI were to come and steal all your shit, they would probably make a hash in the beginning just to verify, as they investigate, as they do stuff that like nothing's being changed or whatever. But like you would never ask, or maybe in some use cases you would, I don't know. But I can't imagine you'd ever ask an accused, hey, can you give us a hash of the data before you send it to us so we can make sure you haven't doctored anything? It's like, oh, okay. Let me go ahead and doctor my shit first, and then I'll make the hash. It's just stupid. It's so stupid. The defendant's mismanagement renders the production entirely unreliable as it cannot be authenticated if asked to reproduce findings from it. Simply put, there is no way to run a cryptographic algorithm that will ensure the data was not altered after being preserved because there's no value to compare it to. Thus, defendant's evidence is not reliable and cannot be authenticated. Let's say that we roll with all of this, despite how stupid this argument is for at least 7 different reasons, okay? Let's say that we roll with all of this. Okay, fine, you got me. I didn't make the random arbitrary cryptographic hash. What do you have for evidence? Because all you have are screenshots that were posted on Kiwi Farms from like an obviously malicious user. You don't have any cryptographic hash it. Like, I could theoretically just say, if we're going to roll with that, I could say, actually, I don't think I ever sent any message. I don't think I ever contacted that account at all. All of those messages from that account were actually just memes, and I actually think Pxie leaked their own shit on the internet just to try to with me. I don't think any of that was from me. Like, what a stupid argument. Spoliation. There is significant evidence of apparent document tampering related to defendant's document production and to his evidence submitted in support of his motion to dismiss. Now, again, keep in mind, they are nitpicking all of my evidence so hard to try to show that I've tampered with something, maliciously altered something. Now, keep in mind through all of this, there are 2 things to keep in mind. One, I already know that the plaintiff maliciously altered her messages. She's never, ever, ever responded to this in an email. She's never responded to this in a court filing. I know that she maliciously altered because I have 2 strong pieces of evidence. One is she deleted the part where she said that she was going to ask me for more money, but she'd feel bad about me saying no. She deleted that message. She's never explained that. And she has no record of that. The only reason I know that is because I happen to have a screenshot of that part of our conversation, number 1. And number 2, I can see in my own archives of our logs that she went back and she edited at least one message that was sent months ago on January 20th, the day before she sent me the request for evidence preservation. So that's 2 examples of what is obvious spoliation, obvious malicious spoliation. She's deleting or altering things that she knows will help her court case. Otherwise, why else would she go back 3 months and edit a message a day before sending me a request for preservation, right? So I already know that she's engaged in this exact behavior in a malicious manner. They're trying to accuse me of doing it, but they're doing it against nothing. They have no evidence. Nothing that they have requested from me have I not been able to produce perfectly and flawlessly, and nothing that I've produced has ever been in contradiction with anything else. It's not like I've shown something and they've been like, oh, look, we proved that defendant lied here. No, that's never happened. All of my logs are good. All of my records are preserved perfectly, and I've kept every single thing that I've needed to for this case, and I've produced every single thing I've needed to for this case. The only thing they can do is these weird technologically retarded attacks on how I'm storing stuff, and it's just so stupid. But okay, there is significant evidence of apparent document tampering related to defendant's document production and his evidence submitted in support of his motion to dismiss. The first instance relates to an excerpt of Discord messages from defendant's Discord account, which was prepared after January 17, 2025, and the corresponding message is taken from a screenshot taken well before January 17, 2025, from an account belonging to a Discord user, Rose, see below. So one thing that they're trying to show is that okay, so I think I've said this in court filings, probably said this in discovery, is that when this person started to leak stuff from, ordinarily I don't manually delete from Discord. Usually I'll just use redact, and redact always produces a log of deleted stuff. But obviously in the case of this account, like I was scrolling back and I was just like manually deleting videos. So as I'm manually deleting stuff, there's going to be a difference in screenshots where they're talking about a particular video. And because I delete this video, you know how on Discord, sometimes they, if messages are sent within 7 minutes, it doesn't timestamp every individual message. They just get kind of, I don't know if you say truncated or compressed into a single one. You have to like hover over the stamps to see the individual timestamps. You understand what I'm talking about, right? Because I deleted a video here that I'd sent, allegedly, the video of the complaint, in theory, so he goes on to say, so he's showing these messages, in theory, had both conversations been collected at the same time, the content would be identical. However, that was not the case, and the version from the defendant's side is conspicuously missing the video attachment that was originally sent by defendant on April 9th, 2022. However, pursuant to defendant's declaration of April 2025, upon plaintiff's request, defendant removed the video, presumably from the Discord chat message to Rose in late November 2024, which explains why it is missing from defendant's chat history. See below. So he tries to draw this stupid fucking graph, or not graph. He tries to draw these 2 images where, whoever the fuck is on this Rose account So there was a message from me in between these two things, but I right-clicked and I've deleted the message, right? So that means that what Discord does with the HTML logs is they automatically compress it into this one thing. Now it looks like both messages are sent from this account at 8:33 p.m., but that's not the case, right? This last one could have been sent up to 8:40 p.m. and it would still be combined in the same one. But he's trying to say that because both of these are falling under the 8:33 one, it's evidence that I've tampered with the message. Destiny, hey, just FYI, if you hover over where it says edited, you can see the exact date and time she edited her message. I know, Zol. That's why I know that she edited a message 3 months prior, because it says edited on January 20th. That's why I knew it was so weird. It's like, why are you editing a message from so many months ago? I don't even know it was in that original message, by the way. And if this does make it all the way to trial, you better believe I'm going to push to have the jury read that in the most unfavorable light. Because why the f*** are you editing a message? Yeah, it was a message that she sent on November 29th, okay? It was a message she sent on November 29th, and when I hover over the message, it says it was edited on January 20th, 2025, which was the same day or one day before they sent me the preservation of evidence request. So she must have went back and edited this knowing that after I got the request to preserve evidence, that I was going to be backing up, archiving our conversations. So, like, I don't know how else a jury or anybody would read that besides, because she can't tell me what that message was because she didn't archive any of her stuff, right? Because I haven't given any of it to us. So, but anyway, so Discord expert, by the way, who doesn't seem to understand this, there is an apparent sign of tampering seen in defendant's message from Rose, wherein she comments to have viewed the video before its documented arrival, which is physically impossible. It does not appear that Rose somehow came back and edited the 8:33 p.m. message after viewing the video. The only way to upload a message from a Discord user is for the owner to delete or edit, in which case an edit would have edited appended to the message, and no such qualifier seen. Remember, expert witness, by the way. This is the expert witness. Expert witness, by the way. Is legal mindset the H3 simp lawyer? No! Legal mindset might appear to be an H3 simp lawyer. Legal mindset is not an H3 simp, though. He's just a Hassan Denims and all those other people hater. So he'll appear to simp for Ethan when he can, but it's just because he hates the other side. This temporal and logical inconsistency serves as an apparent indication of post-Discord export manipulation. Moreover, the defendant relied on these same chat excerpts in his motion to dismiss, revealing the same inconsistency. The defendant relied on a comparison of these two documents as the sole support. Now, keep in mind, he says documents. I'm comparing them to a screenshot. That's just a screenshot posted on Kiwi Farms, okay? It's not like Solo has made himself available for deposition or discovery. So, okay. Of these two documents as the sole support for his assertion that the evidence conclusively establishes that the video was transmitted on April 9th. The Discord chat thread does not show any transmission of the video at 8:36 p.m. and also appears to have been tampered with and is thus not reliable evidence. The second spoliation, it should be spoliation, but whatever. The second spoliation issue noted, I don't even know if spoliation is a word, is noted with Exhibit E of the motion to dismiss, ECF, wherein defendant appears to have manually transposed content from a Discord chat with screen name in Bloom 1991. The timestamps in Google Drive file identifiers in the URLs from the chat history do not match the same from the list the defendant prepared of meeting files sent to Discord screen name ABMC. See below. So this is particularly funny, but also particularly, I guess since my life is a joke, I'm really only laughing at this stuff, okay? I want you to understand, okay? All of this is just kind of funny to me because I'm rich, okay? If this was like 3 years earlier in my career, I actually don't know what I would do for stuff like this. Because I would have gone to a significantly cheaper law firm. And then I guess we would go to court fighting over this because it's just an unbelievable set of circumstances. So let me explain, okay? Remember, this is an expert witness who's already shown a surprising level of tech incompetency leading up to this. Not thinking, imagine the claims he's made in this so far, that Discord's entire CDN is exposed to the open internet for archiving. So every single DM media file has been exposed to search engines for indexing, right? Prior to 2023. And even still today, it's just 24-hour links, right? So it's already surprisingly stupid. What a stupid statement to put in an expert witness testimony. He's shown incompetence over how Discord displays its messages. Okay. But now he's going to say that these links being different demonstrate, okay, they demonstrate that I have tampered with the evidence. Now, I don't know why my law firm did this, okay? I don't know what was going on or how they handle their documents. But the thing is that if you look at the evidence tampering, it's pretty obvious that what's happened is it looks like they used a scanner or something. They printed something off and then scanned it. And when the scanner was translating the information from visual back to text, the scanner missed a few things. So for instance, I have a link here and it says WBT/view, but the T/, it read as a V here, right? That T/, instead of reading it as T/, the whatever transcribed it read it as a V. And then same thing down here, you have a, I don't even know if there's anything wrong here. Maybe it missed an underscore. I guess right here under just put a space, right? So again, if you are an expert witness, this is something that you should know. Okay? You should know this. Like, oh, this is a common transcription error from, something reading text and then. But he says that this is evidence of me. There is more evidence of tampering. The 2 Google Drive links that Bunnell purportedly sent to both Abby and Peach in the 2 chat threads are actually not the same link. The highlighted links below are from ECF 132-7, and the non-highlighted links are from ECF 132-6. The highlighted URL has .zhr31, lowercase l, and the bottom one has zhr31, number 1. Also, the highlighted URL ends in wbt/view, and the bottom one ends in wbv view, right? So like, what? So are you saying that I intentionally edited these in a place where a scanner would fuck up? Like, what is the argument? The highlighted link begins with 1K, and the other one comes from this and believes 1K or L_K. Also, thus, the above evidence, which was relied on by defendant in his motion to dismiss for his assertion that his preserved communication logged with ABMC conclusively established that he never transmitted the video to her at any time, is not reliable evidence because it appears to have been tampered with. Now, okay, so I said before, right, I have a lot of money, so I can afford to fight this stuff, despite my YouTube demonetization, everything. The egregious thing, the really, really, really disgusting thing is this fucking disgusting piece of shit didn't write any of this, okay? Remember how I keep saying they steal fucking arguments from Kiwi farms, okay? So he wrote the link out for this here. But this idiot, I'm at courtlistener.com, okay? So this is what is publicly uploaded. This moron didn't change this to an actual link, and he accidentally left his source material here, which is a link to an image hosted on Kiwi farms, okay? Now, seeing this, obviously, I tried to scroll around to see if I could find, okay, well, I wonder if he actually got these arguments from the thread. This fucking piece of shit. So like, I can literally Control-C this whole, including the punctuation and everything. He literally ripped this line for line from one of my biggest fans, Code Cave. Both of the examples that he took here, right? Highly link has, right? I can copy paste this whole chunk here. The whole thing, he ripped both of these examples word from word, punctuation and everything. He just copy pasted them from Kiwi farms. When you pay an expert witness, you're paying money for somebody with expertise to establish some fact to the court, to the judge or the jury, to establish some fact that they can comment on because they're expertise in an area. Why the fuck are these guys paying an expert witness to copy paste from Kiwi farms? How can you competently, I don't do anything with filing down here, but if I had a prior court case involving this dude, you better believe I would attack all of this guy's expert witness testimony. I don't think I would trust this motherfucker for anything. How the fuck are you copy pasting whole parts of your argument from a Kiwi Farms post? And you can see this is exactly where he got the argument. I feel like this would discredit you from, that's just insane to me. How could you do that? He's supposed to be an expert witness. Unless he wants to come out and say, well, I am Code Cave, and that's why I actually am that guy, so I'm actually just copying for myself. But it's funny that but you can also see that he tried to intentionally hide that he was copying from Kiwi Farms, because when you look at both of these images here are images hosted on Kiwi Farms, he remembered to transcribe this first link. He transcribed the first link to hide where he was stealing his testimony from, but he forgot to transcribe the second link, and he left in the copied pictures for both, right? You see this here? So in this first one, he managed to cover his tracks, but on the second one, he fucked up and he left the original link to the expert witness, by the way. And remember, this, I'm not showing you this from an email. I'm not showing you this from like, this is a public court filing that's available on Court Listener. If you've got a Pacer account, you can look this up. This is like, item 139, attachment 1 on the docket. It's just insane to me. But finally, I note the following. Bunnell states that the original file name of the video, as revealed by Solitani Leaks, is not the same as either of the file names that he sent to ABMC. That proves that he never sent the video to ABMC. But Bunnell is comparing apples to oranges because the two file names in ECF 132.6 that he purportedly sent to ABMC on November 3rd, 2023 are not file names, so they're Google Drive URLs, which merely point to unknown file names. He's bringing this up. That's not the argument that I make, though. The argument I make is that the exact same Google Drive link is sent to two different people, and one of those people proves through their messages with me that it is of them and not of the defendant or not of the plaintiff. That's the whole point of this. So he either didn't read it, misread it, or whatever. Under penalty of perjury, I declare that I've read the foregoing document and the facts stated in it are true to the best of my knowledge and belief. And then, yeah. Why does it matter that he got the info in Kiwi Farms? That has to be the best place to get information because I'm obsessed there. Why does it matter? Because he's testifying to the veracity of my evidence as an expert witness. If plaintiff wants to state, we read on Kiwi Farms that they said this, then state that. But you can't pay an expert witness to give your own bullshit testimony. That's not how that works. Like, let's say that I say, I know that plaintiff has been using psychological warfare against me and is using actual black magic spells to attack me. And then let's say I pay an expert witness. I'm like, can you just like write this in there? Say that you're like a CIA expert and then just like write what I'm telling you. You can't do that. That's not the point of a expert witness. So he perjured himself. I don't know if it counts as perjury. I would say, I can't say I would say because I don't know what counts as perjury now, but yeah. Not only that, but also as a quick lulz, this was filed 2 days ago. He filed an amendment saying, it's come to my attention that in paragraph 17 and 18 of my October 3rd, 2025 declaration, I made a conclusion of tampering based on defendant's incomplete and faulty document production. These documents produced well. So he admits here that, actually I was wrong about the whole Discord timestamp thing. Imagine an expert witness amending their statements like 3 days later. Actually, this is how Discord messages work. Moron. Are we allowed to respond to the response? I believe we get one response to this response, and then it goes to and then the judge has to decide. But anyway.